What's good, family? Smash the like button and subscribe. So your boy Dillian Whyte has weighed in at pretty much a career low, to be fair, 247 and a quarter pounds. I'm just scrolling through now. I tell a lie, he weighed in 246 and a half. So what? 3/4 of a pound lighter versus Chisora back in 2018. But outside of that, he hasn't been lower. Literally, both of the Chisora fights were lower. And to be honest, in general, within a few pounds, even when Dillian fought AJ, he was 247. So this for Dillian's a pretty solid career weight. However, when you look into, I did a live stream probably a year ago now, or when Dillian lost the first time. And in fact, even before he lost to Povetkin, I've been saying Dillian's soft. AJ, yeah, is 6'6", much more naturally and bottom line, much more physically muscular. AJ carries genetically more muscle and he's taller. So if AJ's coming in 237, 240, all you big bubbly dons who are shorter than him and not as mesomorphic, not as thick as AJ is, you need to look serious at yourself. Because what are you doing? Unless you're trying to be on some next Andy Ruiz thing, which obviously don't work as well. Look at him. He thought it was all fun and games. Oh, yeah, come in big and bubbly and it all works out. He tried that to the max in the rematch and got washed. So it doesn't work. Yeah? All the so-called pseudo YouTube dons say things like, oh, well, you know, he's coming for power. That's what they was all saying. Let's not forget that. On the day before AJ fought Ruiz in the rematch, everyone but the YB was saying, oh, well, you know, Ruiz is coming for power. Oh, no one was saying it going to hurt him. They was all saying, well, he's coming for power. I said to you, listen, power ain't bubbliness. If power was bubbliness, it'd be, you know what I'm saying? The winner of Fat Camp would be the world champion. So, obviously, Dillian ain't trying to be on no big bubbly Fat Camp thing. But nonetheless, we're talking about elite athletes. What do you want to be, Dillian? Do you want to be known as the fringe world champion, Don? Or do you want to be known as the world champion? As it happens, in my opinion, he ain't going to win no way. But the point is, or the point should be, do you want to get the best out of yourself? Now, 247 career-wise looks alright, but 247 isn't Dillian's best shape. If you look at his early career, 240. Even looking here, he fought AJ at 247, and the fight, or a few fights before that, in fact, no, years before that, 2012, he was 240. 2012, in fact, he was 233. 2012, in fact, he was 229. In 2012, he had a career low of 229. In 2011, December 2011, he was 226. So I get it, with age, you get a bit, well, no, tell lie, is that even true? 2011 was 10 years ago. Dillian's now what? Dillian's 32, so when he was 22, okay, yeah, we'll give him a little bit of slack there. Let's give him a little bit of slack, but that works out about right. If he was 226 at 22, and we give him a little bit of slack, listen, 226 plus a bit of slack for getting older, getting into the 30s, that don't mean you put 30 pounds on, does it? That means you put 10 on, which would be bang on 236. I don't want no excuses no more. If AJ's 240, all you other man who enters muscly and enters tall should be below that. And not only because of the maths of it, also look at AJ's performances as a baseline. When AJ was 250, run out of gas all the time. Dillian's been known as someone who runs out of gas or gets chinned. And being big and bubbly, carrying that weight, ain't helping your chin, not even a bit. People think it does. Oh, well, I put a bit more weight on. Well, you came into the fight bubbly against Povetkin, and it didn't help you. So obviously ain't helping. Your best bet is to get down lower, drop another 10 pounds, because you can see it in the weigh-in. You can see it on his midsection. He's just soft. He's fluffy. He's got something underneath it. He's like one of them people he's obviously been working hard, because you can see the definition, but it's covered. It's covered in a layer of gluttony. It's covered in a layer of lack of discipline. That's what you call that. People call it fat. People call it softness. I call it a lack of disciplineness. That's what all I saw when I see Dillian on the scale is a lack of disciplineness. Not fat, not bubbliness, lack of discipline. That's all it is, gluttony. Oh, you're looking at people say, oh, you're looking a little fat. I say, nah, you're looking a little gluttony to me, yeah? You're looking a little lack of discipline. Simple as that. I don't want to hear it. Are you an athlete or not? Are you trying to be a world champion or not? And I've never been to their level, but I know one thing for a fact. When I was turning up serious, I was in shape. Got the receipts to prove it. So what are you doing? I don't care if it's heavyweight or no heavyweight. Look historically. Show me one Don historically who was all soft, all in the video. Don't see them. Even Lennox, who wasn't super lean, and to be honest, he probably was actually. He was pretty lean. He wasn't dry, but he was athletic. Dillian ain't athletic. He looks like them gym dudes who are into carb loading. You know, if a Don's into carb loading, what he means to say is he likes going to the gym and he don't want to cut. That's what that means. Oh, well, I'm carb loading. No, you mean you're lazy and you don't want to cut. One of them Dons there who never be cutting, but they're always carb loading. That just means you're big bubbly. You don't mean... don't take something that's a principle and then forget the other half of things. If you're carb loading, you best be at some point in the year cutting. Don't be tell me year round you're carb bulking. Oh, I'm bulking. No, being on a 24/7 bulk just means you're big bubbly. Don't try and make it don't try and make it you're on some bodybuilder thing. Oh yeah, well the thing is I'm eating 3,000 calories because I'm bulking. No, you're just big and bubbly and happy. Just say that, innit? Just say I'm big, bubbly and happy. Simple as that. But if you're trying to come across as an elite, world class, world champion athlete, that extra 10 pounds, that extra 10 undisciplinedness has got to go for Dillian. AJ made a change, and arguably, AJ at 250, 255, he had less to lose. He's got less to lose. AJ never looked soft, even at 250, which goes to show it must have been a lot harder for AJ to lose them 10 than it is for Dillian to lose his 10, because his 10 ain't supposed to be there. AJ, you could argue, well, he's just kind of bulked up a bit. Dillian, that's just pure lack of discipline. Yours ain't bulking up. Yours is just softness. Needs to go. And we're talking at this elite level. We're talking about the difference between getting chinned and not getting chinned. Clearly, as Dillian found out, that may have been the difference. That could have been it. Who knows? If that £10 wasn't there, maybe his head would have turned that 10% quicker. In fact, it's not even 10%, 5% quicker. If that £10 wasn't there, maybe his head or maybe that little bit of belly wasn't in the way and he was able to see the shock. I don't know. There's too many factors that go into it. But all we know is having extra dead weight ain't helping no one. Your speed, your reflexes, everything is better. I've never seen no one perform better just adding dead weight. Not even once. Now, I'm not going to... Bearing in mind this is the weigh-in reaction video, I think it's important to focus quite a lot on the weight, but I'll do my fight prediction as well now. I'm going to go with a safe one on this one. I'm going to go with a Dillian win. How he wins? I just don't know. I ain't got a clue. I'm not very good at predictions when it's not people. I'm not very good at predictions full stop, if the truth be known. But having said that, since we're doing it, yeah, this for me is what you call a good watch. That's what I'll call this one, a good watch, because anything can happen. Dillian can come out and box him for 12 rounds. He may get stuck in. I can't tell you. I've heard mixed messages. 1 minute Dillian's saying he's going to come out and box. The next minute he's going to get stuck in. I'm not sure how committed Povetkin is or isn't. We've seen Povetkin weigh in. He's actually 4 pounds heavier. Povetkin's 4 pounds heavier than he was when he rocked up. Now, in that first fight, Povetkin... I was under the impression that Povetkin wasn't really taking it serious. I was under the impression that he wasn't fully prepared. So I'm thinking, well, if you wasn't fully prepared and you was 224, now you're meant to be fully prepared and you're 5 pounds heavier. I don't know about all that. However, looking at Povetkin's career historically, he's there or thereabouts. 228 ain't the worst thing he's ever seen. It's more or less bang on his career average. However, looking on the scales, he didn't look in great shape. And I actually, before the first fight against Dillian, I thought he didn't look great. So, if shape is anything to go by, Povetkin, bearing in mind how poorly Povetkin performed, let's not forget that. Just because he caught Dillian with a massive shot doesn't mean he was doing well in that fight. That was one of Povetkin's worst performances. He couldn't stand up for the love nor money. And if shape's anything to go by, it's not looking great for Povetkin. Who knows though, maybe he's added a few pounds and now he's going to be full of energy. As the added weight cliche goes, oh well, he's got a bit of, now he ain't going to run out of gas. Yeah, I'm not sure how that works out in reality, but maybe, I don't know. 4 pounds is what, 2%? I just feel like I'd rather have seen Povetkin on the other side of that. But people could argue, well, you don't want to be drained down. Listen, these men ain't drained down. Povetkin weren't. You can just tell he wouldn't be drained down that little bit light. But let's not get all caught up in the weight too much. Weight's, well, I don't know. I was about to say weight's not going to make the be all and end all, but in my mind, I'm quite rigid. I think you should come in. You should have a weight scale as such. I'm going to be between here and here. Every camp should be the same, more or less. You should aim to get more or less the same, unless there's something changing in your life, like you've just started doing weights or something. Weight should be pretty simple. Are you in shape or are you not? Innit? That's in my mind. Unless you're growing suddenly or whatever. I don't understand why fighters are, 1 minute I'm 255, now I'm 230. All this yo-yo business. What's that? I don't understand it. I'd love to understand what that's doing. Or I'd love to understand the logic behind all this up and down like a yo-yo business. I've never seen any other sport like it. Where elite world level champions or elite world level athletes are swinging 10, 15 pounds all over the show like, for fun. Now, I'm not saying that Povetkin's swinging 10, 15 pounds, but 2% is 2%. And it weren't the right 2% either. Why can't these guys come in 2% under, innit? Let's try that one for a while, see how that works out. But again, let me not get all focused in the weight. It's obviously not going to all come down to it's not a weight test. So, I do understand that. But in this fight, when things are so, in my mind at least, when things are so, I just can't. I've never been this indecisive in my life, if the truth be known. I've just got a bad feeling, I really have. I've got a bad feeling of seeing Dillian go limp. I don't know what it is. I've got a real bad feeling, but I think I'll probably be wrong on this one. I think he probably will get a job done. Get the job done, whether it's him stopping Povetkin or going the distance. It really depends how Dillian approaches it. Put it this way, if Dillian comes out and he's really cautious like AJ was against Ruiz too, that kind of performance, Dillian will win hands down. If Dillian starts coming out and doing all that Rambo he was talking, that's when I'm kind of swaying all over the place, because as we've seen, Dillian's chin ain't getting better. We don't know how much long-term damage his central nervous system has taken. So however little it took to KO him last time, it's only going to be less now. Which in my mind means that Povetkin was finished when he knocked you out. So he hasn't got to be, people forget, Povetkin hasn't got to come in and be on his A game, the best ever in his life. He was at the worst of his life. He looked the worst in his whole career, and still he clipped Dillian. So, and now he's only got to clip Dillian a little less, by my estimations. Therefore, from Dillian's point of view, you've just got to get rid of that risk. Stay behind the jab, stay cautious, and just work from a cautious base. Consistently reset yourself, just like AJ was against Ruiz. Consistently, every time you feel yourself getting carried away, reset yourself. And make it through this one. And then start building your confidence off the back of that. If the stoppage comes in the 10th or the 11th, so be it. But let the stoppage come because you've just kind of Fury versus Chisora 2'd. That's how the stoppage should come from Dillian. This way you've just jabbed his nut right in for him. Jabbed his quint right in for him. All the way in for him. Rather than getting in there and mixing it up. Because the minute you start mixing it up, it wasn't a 3-punch combo that Povetkin stopped you with. It wasn't some madness. It was one shot. And the man was finished. So, I don't like them odds, ever. And it was a great punch, it was greatly timed, but that's why you don't exchange with Povetkin, in my opinion. Certainly not. Well, just don't do it. I think it's the best advice. Because if he can one punch, you can find that anywhere. He could literally close his eyes. If Dillian starts exchanging and throwing 3 shots at once, Povetkin can literally shut his eyes and just throw when you throw. And that's the end of that, isn't it? Theoretically speaking. Okay, Dillian's going to go 1, 2, 3. I'm just going to tuck my chin down. I've been down. Dillian may put Povetkin down. I think the odds are pretty high for Dillian putting Povetkin down a few times again. So Povetkin will have nothing to lose. You know what? Dillian's been doing the 1, 2, 3. After his 2, I'm just going to put my head down and throw my left hook, or whatever shot he picks. And I'm not confident that Dillian's going to be able to take it and ride. Because if he could take it and ride, he'd have done that in the first fight. Now, of course, there's the other factors. Oh, will he be hit in the same place again? All I know is, the bottom line for me is, Povetkin was so finished. If a man who's that finished can stop you like he did in the first fight, I really think it's quite worrying for Dillian. I hope I'm wrong, and that's the thing that AJ proved in the Ruiz fight. He did an exchange, but there was a few big shots Ruiz landed. Actually, some of the same shots that AJ got caught with in the first fight. Ruiz I keep forgetting to do the video on it, but Ruiz threw a massive right hook. It clattered off the back of AJ's head, because going into the AJ fight versus Ruiz too, everyone was saying, what's going to happen when Ruiz hits him on the back of the head again? It's only going to take one shot. I was telling everyone, you man don't understand. That was some next clone thing. AJ Chin certified. Anyway, he goes in there, and as the YB said, Ruiz throws exactly the same shot he did, if not better. It hit AJ square on the back of the head, and AJ's leg didn't even move. He, in fact, stood up, and the crowd went, because everyone had that anticipation that AJ was a one-hitter quitter, or would be one-hitter quitted again. And AJ stood up and said, what's everyone breathing for? That's a minor. But that's not the case for Dillian, I don't believe. But like I said, maybe it will be. This is what we need to see. If Dillian goes in there now, and Povetkin hits him with the same kind of shot, that will then tell me, I've got confidence in Dillian's chin again. But when I see, you know what I'm like, when I see anyone one-banged, it really, for me, it does something that really hinders your career at heavyweight. You've got heavyweights must have one-bang ability. They must be able to handle a one-bang. Must be. Especially a one-bang off of someone who was finished like Povetkin was. Coming in the first round here, anyone can one-bang. But when your man's been mauled and he still put you out, that's what makes things questionable.